Imagine a force so quiet, so patient, that its presence is only felt in hindsight. A man who speaks little, moves with restraint, and discerns with sharp clarity. And yet when he acts, his influence ripples far beyond his immediate reach. This is not the loud, showy power of domination. It is the power of sigma intelligence. Many speak of alpha strength, muscle, dominance, authority, but here lies a different kind of potency, subtle, deep, internal, one that few recognize, fewer understand, yet many fear. It's a form of control without coercion, authority without spectacle, and wisdom that disarms while commanding respect. In a world that measures success by noise, claims, and speed, Sigma intelligence moves in silence. It sees cracks where others only see surface. It waits, calibrates, and strikes when the moment is ripe. It undermines illusions, restructures internal maps, and shifts the trajectory of systems from within. This isn't about flashy tactics or quick formulas. It's about uncovering why this type of intelligence is the most dangerous kind of power. Dangerous not because it destroys, but because its effects are slow, subtle, and irrevocable. When a Sigma male's insight meets persistence, entire patterns of behavior, belief, and dominance collapse before they even realize it. Over the next few minutes, we will explore 6 dimensions of this power: how a Sigma male's cognition, restraint, patience, moral backbone, strategic depth, and visionary silence merge into a force few can resist, and fewer still can counter. I invite you to lean in quietly. Let go of noise. Observe the spaces between the words. Let what is revealed seep in. Because when this kind of strength speaks, it often whispers, and that is how it changes everything. Let us begin. Number 1, perceptual precision, seeing beyond the surface. Silence sharpens observation. For the Sigma male, silence isn't just the absence of sound, it's a tool of perception, a space where the world reveals what it usually hides. When others rush to speak, he listens. When they react, he studies. This quiet awareness allows him to pick up on subtleties that most overlook: the quick glance of uncertainty, the forced laughter masking insecurity, and the way someone's words contradict their energy. Modern psychology calls this the ability to detect fleeting emotional cues that last less than a second. Sigma males seem naturally tuned to it. They sense tension behind a smile or the inconsistency in someone's tone. Not because they're suspicious, but because their minds are trained to notice what's. This trait gives them a psychological advantage. Studies in behavioral science reveal that those who observe more than they speak are better at identifying patterns in human behavior, and Sigma males instinctively use this to navigate life. They don't follow the herd's interpretation of events, they form their own. When a group reaches consensus too quickly, the Sigma male steps back, watching the dynamics unfold. He questions, dissects, and reassembles the information internally until the truth becomes clear. That's why he often spots the cracks in systems, relationships, and power structures long before others do. It's not arrogance, it's accuracy. Because he trusts his own discernment over popular opinion, he intercepts error before it manifests. In workplaces, this means seeing a project's weak link before it fails. In relationships, it means detecting manipulation before it becomes damage. In society, it means recognizing patterns of control or conformity that others unconsciously submit to. His mind is like a map maker's. It draws invisible fault lines, connecting causes to effects, motives to actions, and lies to outcomes. This heightened awareness explains why Sigma males are rarely surprised. They live in a state of calm anticipation, not paranoia, but preparedness. Neuroscientifically, this could be linked to their overactive prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for planning, foresight, and emotional regulation. They read situations like a chessboard, always a few moves ahead. When they finally act, it's never impulsive, it's deliberate, precise, and often silent. To outsiders, it seems as though they appear from nowhere and shift everything with a single calculated move. But in truth, their power lies not in reaction, but in observation. For the Sigma male, silence isn't weakness, it's strategy. It's the quiet that cuts through noise to reveal what's real. Number 2, internal restraint, power held in reserve. One of the most dangerous powers is the one never fully unleashed. A Sigma male understands this truth deeply. His restraint is not born from fear, but from principle. He could dominate conversations, impose his will, or chase validation like others do, but he doesn't. Instead, he chooses his words and actions with precision. This ability to hold back, to move only when necessary, is what makes his presence so powerful. It's a quiet authority that commands attention without demanding it. In psychology, this behavior aligns with the concept of self-regulation, the ability to manage one's impulses, emotions, and behaviors to achieve long-term goals. Research shows that those who master self-regulation often outperform others in leadership, creativity, and decision-making. The Sigma male embodies this mastery. He's not impulsive, he's intentional. His restraint is his weapon, sharpening his influence because every move he makes carries meaning. Unlike those who constantly seek validation through dominance displays or endless talking, the Sigma male is comfortable with silence. Silence to him is not weakness, it's control. It unsettles those who depend on noise to feel important. By conserving energy, he avoids emotional exhaustion and gains clarity. In this stillness, he observes, learns, and calculates. And when he finally chooses to act, his impact is amplified, not spread thin across meaningless efforts. This pattern mirrors the behavior of great strategists and thinkers in history, figures like Marcus Aurelius, who preached discipline and calm judgment, or Miyamoto Musashi, the Japanese samurai who wrote the Book of Five Rings, emphasizing restraint as the path to mastery. Both understood that true strength doesn't need to announce itself. It simply is. The Sigma's power then lies not in how often he acts, but in when he acts. Every word is measured, every gesture is deliberate. His restraint creates mystery, his timing builds respect, and his silence draws attention more effectively than noise ever could. In a world obsessed with constant motion and endless self-promotion, the Sigma male stands apart, calm, composed, and dangerous in his quietness. Because when a man who rarely speaks decides to move, everyone listens. And that, more than anything else, is the essence of controlled power. Number 3, longevity through patience. Impulse is the opposite of danger because it exposes itself. When a person acts impulsively, their intentions are loud and predictable. Their energy flares up quickly but fades just as fast. Everyone can see where it's coming from, and that makes it easy to resist. Impulsive power burns bright, but it lacks endurance. It's the shout that startles but doesn't echo. In contrast, the Sigma man understands that true power doesn't announce itself. It accumulates quietly, building like pressure beneath the earth until one day it shifts everything above it. Sigma power is patient and deliberate. It doesn't chase immediate gratification or visible recognition. It invests in the long game, small habits, quiet preparation, and unbroken focus. Each decision is a brick in a structure few can see being built until it towers over everything else. Science even supports this truth. Studies on delayed gratification, like the famous Stanford marshmallow experiment, revealed that those who could resist short-term impulses often achieved greater long-term success in career, relationships, and health. The Sigma archetype embodies that principle naturally. He's not interested in the flash of today when he's mastering the game of decades. Think of water dripping on stone. Each drop seems insignificant, yet over time it carves entire valleys and reshapes landscapes. That's how Sigma influence works. Slow, consistent, and often unnoticed until it's irreversible. People around him can't pinpoint when things changed. They just wake up one day realizing that his presence has reshaped the dynamic, redefined the standards, and commanded quiet respect. His power is not in the act, but in the accumulation. This kind of patience-based dominance is rooted in psychological stability. In a world driven by dopamine and instant feedback, those who stay calm under chaos hold the real advantage. Neuroscientists have found that impulsive behavior often stems from an overactive amygdala, the brain's emotional center, while self-controlled individuals engage the prefrontal cortex, the seat of logic and foresight. The Sigma man's restraint isn't repression, it's mastery of self. Over time, his patterns create ripples that others start to follow unconsciously. He influences through example, not enforcement, through consistency, not control. While others react, he adapts. While others chase, he observes. And one day, the same world that underestimated his silence begins to move to the rhythm he set without even realizing it. Number 4, moral gravity, influence without force. True influence doesn't roar, it resonates. For the Sigma male, power is not found in domination or charisma, but in the seamless alignment between what he says and what he does. Integrity is his silent authority. In psychology, this is referred to as authenticity congruence, a state where one's internal values, words, and actions are harmoniously aligned. When a man consistently embodies this, people sense it instinctively. His presence carries weight because it is grounded in truth. Others feel drawn toward him, not out of fear, but because his steadiness feels safe in a world filled with contradictions. The Sigma male's strength lies in his internal calibration. He doesn't perform to impress or manipulate perceptions. Instead, his actions are guided by conviction. Studies on leadership show that individuals who operate from integrity rather than authority inspire deeper loyalty and trust. When followers perceive a leader as morally consistent, their commitment becomes intrinsic, not based on rewards or punishment, but genuine respect. This is why Sigma intelligence holds quiet power. It doesn't demand loyalty, it earns it effortlessly. Unlike those who lead through hierarchy or intimidation, the Sigma male leads through example. His boundaries are clear, not walls of pride, but lines of self-respect. Boundaries communicate self-awareness, showing others that his energy and principles are non-negotiable. This calm firmness disarms manipulation and commands admiration. It's why in social dynamics, integrity acts like gravity, an invisible pull that draws people closer while exposing those who operate in deceit. What makes such integrity dangerous isn't aggression, it's illumination. Systems built on lies, hypocrisy, or pretense cannot withstand someone who lives in truth. His mere presence becomes a mirror reflecting the faults of corrupted structures. History is filled with figures who embodied this quiet defiance, Socrates, Gandhi, and even modern reformers whose integrity challenged entire systems. They didn't seek confrontation, yet their consistency became revolutionary. In a world where perception often outruns reality, the Sigma male's moral clarity restores balance. He doesn't just influence others, he stabilizes environments. His strength is not reactive but responsive, not boastful but deliberate. This is why people trust him, even when they can't fully explain why. True power isn't about bending others to your will. It's about standing so firmly in your truth that the world quietly rearranges itself around you. Number 5, strategic silence, the quiet reshaper. He speaks less, but when he does, he shapes narratives. His silence itself is leverage. In a world that rewards noise, the man who masters silence becomes a strategist. Silence is not emptiness, it is information. Psychologists call it the pause effect, a communication tool where moments of quiet create psychological tension, prompting others to fill the void. In that space, people often reveal what they were trying to conceal. This is why great negotiators, interrogators, and leaders know the value of restraint. The Sigma man doesn't rush to speak because he understands that every word carries weight. When words are rare, they become valuable. In debates, his silence unsettles the loud. When others scramble to justify, explain, or dominate, he listens. Studies in behavioral communication show that people who maintain eye contact and remain calm during arguments are often perceived as more confident and intelligent, even if they speak less. Silence, then, is not passivity, it's power. It makes others question their assumptions, re-examine their stance, and often expose their inconsistencies. By not reacting impulsively, he gains a panoramic view of the situation, identifying patterns others miss. In relationships, this same silence disarms manipulation. When someone expects anger or an emotional reaction but receives calm indifference instead, they lose their leverage. The Sigma male uses silence like a chess master uses time, strategically. Each pause, each withheld word builds pressure, forcing opponents to make moves out of discomfort. In psychology, this phenomenon is linked to cognitive dissonance. When people are left uncertain about what you think, their minds fill in the gaps, often assuming you hold more power or knowledge than you've revealed. Silence becomes a mirror, reflecting others' fears, insecurities, and intentions. He lets them talk, expose themselves, and reveal weaknesses. Then, with a few words, a question, an observation, a truth, he redefines the conversation. His restraint also acts as a filter. By not over-explaining, he discovers who truly understands him and who only listens to respond. This quality earns him respect over time because true authority doesn't shout, it stands still and waits. The man who speaks less but observes more wields control, not through dominance, but through understanding. When he finally speaks, his words don't just end discussions, they redirect them. That is the hidden art of silence, not withdrawal, but mastery over the unseen forces of attention, timing, and truth. Number 6, vision beyond the now. Most men are trapped in the urgency of the now. They hustle to win arguments, gain attention, or secure quick victories. But Sigma intelligence operates on a different wavelength. It doesn't chase the present, it shapes the future. The Sigma man studies the undercurrents of human behavior, technology, and culture. He notices patterns long before others recognize them, much like a chess master who anticipates not just the next move, but the entire endgame. His mind isn't confined to trends or social validation. Instead, It functions like a strategist's map, always several steps ahead. This forward-thinking ability stems from independence, because he isn't enslaved by the need for approval or applause. The Sigma male can think long-term without being distracted by the noise of the crowd. Psychologists call this trait delayed gratification, the capacity to resist immediate rewards for greater future outcomes. Studies, such as the famous Stanford marshmallow experiment, revealed that individuals who mastered this principle were more successful, disciplined, and visionary. The Sigma embodies this fully. He invests in the unseen, knowing that true power lies not in reacting, but in predicting and preparing. To the untrained eye, his patience looks like passivity, but beneath that calm exterior lies a calculating precision. He observes systems, trends, and human motives, connecting dots invisible to most. While others panic during chaos, he perceives structure. His intuition aligns with what futurists describe as pattern recognition, the skill to identify repeating cycles in complex data. From market shifts to social evolution, he can forecast where energy, attention, and influence will flow next. This foresight allows him to quietly position himself before the wave hits. And when it does, he doesn't merely adapt, he redefines the landscape. This is why Sigma intelligence is often misunderstood, yet feared. When combined with patience, integrity, and quiet consistency, it transcends individual success. It starts to alter narratives, organizations, and even generations. History remembers such men, not because they shouted the loudest, but because they built foundations that others would later walk upon. In a world obsessed with speed, the Sigma male's timeless strategy is his greatest weapon, not to dominate the moment, but to command the centuries that follow. Power is often portrayed as dominance and aggression, but true power, the kind that endures, is quiet, deliberate, and transformative. Sigma intelligence is dangerous, not because it destroys, but because it redefines. If you walk the Sigma path, cultivate perception, practice restraint, invest in patience, guard your integrity, and master silence, over time, your strength will outlast noise. Thank you for reflecting with me. Let these thoughts settle. Return to them when you need clarity. In time, you'll not only become a man of value, but also a man of silent consequence. Until next time, walk your path with clarity, dignity, and quiet force.